Carrying the tune. The moiled reed in my mouth, the untuned fuzz of your piano, out of breath and losing time. I sacrifice notes, use my right hand to point our place on the page. We had an audience, and they forgave us. We weren't performing for music, but you and I, Mother, never could admit ourselves to something like that. We stumbled, if I were a rich man, ended sunrise, sunset in early evening, and I walked you out of confusion into confusion, to the bedroom where you wished us to go back and perform it perfect, but you had already forgotten anything beyond the burden of a wake. I have a half memory of walking my elementary school linoleum dinge halls half lit as a dust storm, and Scott Stover, whose great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather had opened the first general store in our town's history. He sat against the painted cinder blocks, expelled from our class for some anonymous third-grade offense. I don't remember why or what reason, or if there was, but I remember taking my hand and throwing his skull against the wall, as a chimp would crack a coconut against a rock. He was concussed, although that word, concussed, didn't carry the same weight of brain juice and spinal fluids then as it does now, after the double murder-suicide of Chris Benoit. After Junior Seau ate a bullet and his family allowed a posthumous study of his brain, as if the scrambles of a shuttered mind might be a direct correlation to whatever thoughts consume a juggler in the months and minutes and fractions of minutes before he looks at his pins, methodically rotating, ticking and spinning in the air, before he closes his palms against his chest and allows the cascade into earth like lit matches falling into the bowl of a toilet. You spoke to me about it, never able to admit the action that was within my hands, that your sweet son did look at him, and with some level of awareness, though I have no memory of what this instant could possibly have felt like, snap his head against that wall. You were the purity running through my DNA. There's a weak metaphor somewhere about your soul contrasted with your pancreas. You gave everything to the spirit and left nothing for your body. Sometimes I wake up from myself, wondering how I have these memories, the path of destruction left in my land monster wake. I don't remember why friends won't speak to me, how these street signs ended up in my bed, or if I enjoyed the way his coconut head echoed down the hall. I seize a narrow gap between the closing doors and the mob packing the metro, fleeing the harsh "excuse me" of a woman, her words eviscerated by the seal of the subway doors, drifting into the chorus of abandoned guilt's long forgotten missed notes. I rise before my stop, and for a shuddering instant, watch a thick middle-aged man, his bratwurst hand on the shoulder of an old woman. Her frail arm reaches to tightly grip his mitt. She trembles in the crowd. He taps her shoulder with his thumb, flickering, keeping time. It's been 2 years since I cut locks off your cold head, since I twisted the wedding band off your empty finger. You hiya Will, and I hiya Ma back. We walk under elms and sycamores, listening for the songs of cardinals and blue jays, watch herons glide away to the far shore. The space you left grows, sucking into itself hikes and weddings and anniversaries, draped in your shadow, song lyrics ablaze like tinder when they're sang, a little water came, now we're floating on everything. The moiled reed in my mouth, the untuned fuzz of your piano, out of breath and losing time. I sacrifice notes, use my right hand to point our place on the page. We had an audience, and I wish we hadn't. That our last duet could have been without the pressure of performance, that it could have had the focused inertia of rehearsal, you taking the time to help me play the notes right, that it could have been a hike, us improvising thick trunks of harmony, wind bursting in melody, sound, a golden forest rising towards the sun.